Let me show you why I woke up. Woke up. I was disappointed when I woke up. I first saw. Let me actually start with this. Let me start with a video. This is because this is really how I woke up. I woke up to salty cracker.
And over here, this just happened. Take a look at this. This is ASB military news. These dudes are not allowed anywhere because they're giving out accurate information, and you're only allowed to be on the big tech platforms if you're telling everybody, no, the fucking Russians are stupid, and they're out of fuel, and they're out of water, and they're out of weapons. They don't even know where the fuck they're at. Again, they ain't got any wokeness in them. They suck. They're losing. They're totally losing to everybody. Don't mind the Kiev puppet going around begging.
So there's this ASB AZ Patriot. We've got some salty fans here. He's the best, man. He is so good. But ASB military news. That's what he's talking about. There was military news. A silent leftist. That's true. I don't. That's why I say I'm stuck in the middle. I'm not gonna say I'm a right or left, or I'm gonna try and be with the people as a populist. But that's a good point, Eric. But
everybody for more weapons.
Salty's talking about an update to Russia-Ukraine.
Drones and all. Don't worry about that. No, they're totally winning. All right, well, what about this? $400 million worth of Western-supplied weaponry destroyed in a single Russian strike on the military base near Lvov. Radio-intercepted comms suggest that 267 foreign mercenaries have been killed in the strike. 50-year-old Peter from Austria, who fought alongside the International Legion of Ukraine, full of Reddit tards, said that 800 to 1,000 foreign mercenaries were present during the strike, and around 400 of them have been evacuated to Poland, many of whom have suffered severe burns, torn limbs from the caliber strike. There's a high number of missing individuals still under the rubble, which includes a high number of Americans, Poles, Romanians, former NATO officers are also amongst the dead.
So that's what I woke up to. So he's talking about this missile. The thing that caught me was when he said it wiped out 400 million. This is all alleged. Anything that I post or talk about, news-wise or anything with the Ukraine-Russia war, all alleged. I don't know what to believe. I'm just going to go off of, assume this is right, let's talk about it. So they said that $400 million worth of weapons got destroyed by one bullet. And I'm like, whoa, is that real? Like, what kind of bullet? What kind of weapon was it? Russia launches first hypersonic strikes on fuel and storage depots in Ukraine. Hypersonic missile. This is for real. General Milley, is this what you were talking about when you wanted to understand white rage?
It's important, actually, for those of us in uniform to be open-minded and be widely read. And the United States Military Academy is a university. And it is important that we train and we understand. And I want to understand white rage, and I'm white, and I want to understand it. So what is it that caused thousands of...
That's not, it didn't come across to me, at least, that you just wanted to read it to be more knowledgeable. Like if you read Karl Marx, you just want to find out what he was about. It sounded like you wanted to find out about white rage. And I don't know, maybe the Russians are showing it. Is this it? Russia fired its new generation Kinzhal hypersonic missile at targets in Ukraine at the weekend in the first combat use of a weapon that President Putin boasts can outwit any air defense system. This is serious technology, expensive. To me, it looks like it's confirmed. I saw several articles confirming it. We'll see. That's an escalation. Some people are saying they were running out of weapons and that's why they were using it. I've been reading all these different sources. Okay, well, so what happens when they run out of those? With the hypersonic missile, you can put any warhead on it. You can put a nuke on it. So it doesn't make me feel more comfortable that Ukraine's trying to use this strategy, in my opinion, where they're just trying to wait it out. So the U.S. puts a stranglehold on the ruble and Russian money. They hope China doesn't help out directly with money or anything. So Russia runs out of money and resources. And then what's Russia going to do? Even if China's helping out, what does Russia do? Like, they can't occupy Ukraine. They don't have enough money. They literally don't have enough money. So it sounds like to me, it looks like, I'm just guessing. I'm not any expert. Just from what I'm reading it looks like to me, they're just trying to hold out and say, okay, Russia's blown through all their money. That doesn't make me feel good, because once they hold out and all they have left are nukes, do you feel better or worse? Now, especially with an embarrassed Putin, if that's the case. Can't take Ukraine. He's supposed to be the guy with the funny mustache and can't take Ukraine. I don't know what's really happening down there. But they launched these from a MiG fighter jet, and it can fly up to 10 times the speed of sound. Man, we will destroy this planet. Don't worry about that. I think the sun has about 1 billion years left. Don't worry about it. We ain't going to last 1 billion years. We'll see what AI does. Maybe AI accelerates our demise or helps us. I don't know. It is possible that when I say AI, I mean literally Neuralink, putting a chip in your brain. It might make us more civilized. Who knows? That's transhumanism. I'm getting a little bit off topic. But yeah, so I woke up and I had that this tweet here. So I'm looking at this, and this is my takeaway from it. I'm like, this is an escalation. And I was a little bit more vulgar than I normally am. But I was like, on this video that I posted, I didn't know. I thought it was a alleged video of the missile. It looks like it was a test, but I don't know. Whatever. It doesn't even matter. I'm tired of our politicians. They're acting like this is some kind of joke. They're going to mess around and get us all killed. Enough is enough. Ukraine needs to bend the knee. And that's just my standpoint from an American. And I don't see why. I mean, if Ukraine's doing this style of holding out, they're going to get their military killed, much of them. Citizens potentially too. 10 million displaced already. For what? I mean, what's the end goal? Just to hold out? We know we're going to suffer some losses and then Russia just stops? Well, all Russia does is refuel, rebuild, get money back, and then they just do it again. So people were coming at me, and which is fine, and they were saying, well, why would you tell them to take the knee and all that kind of stuff? And I asked one person on Twitter, do you believe in God? And they probably were taken back why I said that. But to me, I don't think they think about nature and life and the food chain. Like, I read this book with my son that has like all the ocean creatures in it. And one of the pages has the food chain. And at the top of the chain, I think on this page is the shark. And then it goes down to plankton. And that's how the world was created. Like, big fish takes little fish. Now, if Ukraine wants to be the, David to the Goliath, more power to them. They got to do what they do. But we don't need to send any money or troops in over there for that. Well, I'm not seeing anything over there other than corruption. So, you take the knee because you're going up against somebody stronger. Figure it out. You had you had years upon years you could have done diplomacy. I also said the Ukrainian leaders, I'm going to talk about Zelensky, he put all his money on getting into a war and having Big Brother bail him out with whatever they needed to do. So he's running around the world telling Israel what's happening is like the Holocaust, telling the U.S. what's happening is like 9/11. No. That's not what's happening. This is not the same thing. It's a different scenario. There's different history here. And you got to handle this. If it weren't for the United States, the stuff we've already put into them, and of course other countries too, they would have already had to bend the knee. It would have been done already. So I said that it's almost like Ukraine is in You know how you sign up for a service and there's different subscription levels? It's almost like Ukraine is in the starter pack, the NATO starter pack. In the and you know when you go different check marks that you get to each level, and then the pro level is where Germany's at. Like if a shell hits a German tank, where it's on. And Ukraine's not at the pro level. They're at the starter pack level where, hey, if you get into a war, we'll give you some money and some weapons, not planes, because planes would be too much. This whole silly stuff about, oh, we'll give you some ammo and this and that. Oh, but we can't give you planes because that would be too much. I don't want us to give them anything. But that's what it comes across as. Let's stay out of it. That's my take about it. If they cared about their citizens and their military, they would stay out of it. Now they're finding out what white rage is. Let me know what you think. Zelensky's doing all kinds of crazy stuff. He's doing all kinds of crazy stuff. That it's not very democratic. What he's doing. If you look at it, I was watching David Doyle. David Doyle does a progressive show, and I was watching him the other day. That was actually today. He was talking about Zelensky. So I'm watching all this Zelensky moves. Like he's out here. He's got Legos. I don't know if you saw that. The propaganda is for real. Did you see the green screen? His green screen was about as bad as mine. I was laughing. He did a green screen, so we don't know where he is. He did this green screen video that looked just god awful, which to me it was so bad they should have just said, like, in the corner screen, just so that they made it clear, like, we're not trying to pass this off as being real. We just want to hide our location. It was embarrassing.